Here we go, guys. Another a pair of paddle reviews for you tonight. Tonight it's all about Selkirk, and we're going to be looking at the Selkirk Latitude and the Selkirk Club. Two extremely affordable paddles, and you get a lot of bang for your buck with these. We're going to talk about these tonight, but first, if you'll allow me to indulge myself, that is. Let's do a little quick tune for you. Let's do a little Steve Miller, a little classic rock. You got to be ready for this one. It comes at you real quick. Are you ready? Here we go. This is a story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue, two young lovers with nothing better to do. Sit around the house, get high, watch a tube. Here's what happened when they decided to cut loose. Go on, take the money and run. 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 Take the money and run. And that's what you're going to want to be able to do, or that's what you're going to be able to do with these new Selkirk paddles. You're going to have so much money left after you buy these in your weekly paycheck, you're going to take that money and run. Run to the court and play with these paddles because they're both solid paddles. So let's get to the reviews. Let's talk about the Latitude first. Now this, let's do a little cue card change here. Now the Selkirk Latitude, I think it came out a few weeks ago. It's pretty much brand new on the market. The specs are 6.9 to 7.5 ounces in weight. So it's a little bit on the light side, but it's not going to feel light because the balance is very top heavy. It's you feel a lot of weight through the tip when you're swinging this one around. So it's light, but it gives you oomph through the ball. So it's kind of nice if you like light paddles, but if you don't like paddles, I still think you should give this a try because it doesn't feel light. The grip is 4 1/8 size, which is a little on the small side, but you know, you could beef that up if you want with a little extra over grip or a little extra wraps around your grip. It's about standard length, 15.5 inches long. But here's where it gets different, is the width. The width is 8¼ inches wide. This is probably the widest paddle out there right now. There may be a few others that are similar, but I don't think anything is wider than 8¼ And that really comes into, it's really an advantage to have that width in this type of paddle. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about why a little later, but the look of the paddle, as you can see, really sharp. You got the Selkirk logo there. Comes in many colors, just like most Selkirk's paddles do. They offer you a wide variety of colors. I don't think anybody offers you as many choices of colors as Selkirk does. So the look is really sharp, really nice, colorful. Pick something out that you like. It's a composite paddle with a vinyl composite face. So you get a lot of power out of that composite face. It's a polymer core, like most paddles, and it's got a little bit of a unique grip. It's a thin grip, but it's kind of an over wrap, an over grip, instead of a real cushiony, thick grip like some paddles have. If you like a thin feeling grip, you really like this. You really feel the ball when you hit it off the face of the paddle. Myself, I like a little more cushiony grip, so I would just replace the grip with a little thicker grip. Costs you like $5, $6, $7, no big deal. And you're going to change that grip out at some point anyway. So why not do it right off the bat? So let's talk about the way this one plays. I got to play this the last couple weeks, and I was really impressed. I mean, for the price, I think this one goes for under 70 bucks, and you really can't do much better for that price than the Latitude. I mean, you get this great Selkirk quality in this paddle. You got everything that all the more expensive paddles have. But what you do get, and what makes this paddle good for, say, the beginner and the intermediate players, is the surface is really good at deflecting spin. It's not super grabby. Now, I know a lot of people, they like having a paddle. They always want to know how rough the paddle surface is, how much spin can I get with it. But when you're starting out, when you're a beginner, intermediate, you can't handle a lot of spin from your opponent. And if you're using a paddle that's very grippy, not only that's going to take your opponent's spin and turn it into more spin. It's going to grab your paddle when you hit it, and it's going to spin off. So something like this, it deflects the spin. It kind of neutralizes it a little bit. So that's what makes it good for a beginner or an intermediate player. They don't want that grippy surface on the paddle. So this is perfect for them. It plays really nice. I mean, it's got a big sweet spot. It's light, so it's great at the net. I mean, you could really be quick with it. And because it's a little weighted towards the tip, it just takes a little flick and you could really pop those balls away at the net. The wide surface is super nice for blocking shots. You know, when you're at the net, you're in the fast exchange, pop, 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 pop. You really got a lot of real estate here to block with, and that will help the beginner and the intermediate player a lot. You know, you're just interested in getting the ball back over the net when you're starting out, and this is the best thing that you could pick just to get the ball back over the net. And it also has a really nice touch for dinking. You know, just overall very surprised with this thing. I could play a tournament with this and be pretty happy with it. But, you know, for the price, a beginner, intermediate, wants to get something that they can, you know, grow into a little bit, but not really outgrow too quick, this is perfect. You get that really great Selkirk quality. Like I said, it's a little top-heavy feeling, which is great for those punch volleys. You know, it really comes through. You don't have to put a lot of muscle behind the ball. So maybe some older people don't want to swing hard. This would be a great choice for them as well. So, and you know, with the composite surface, you get a lot of pop, a lot of good power with the paddle. Just a nice, sturdy, solid feel. Great paddle for the price. I urge you guys to check this out. If you want to get something not too expensive, you want to have some change left over so you can take the money and run, get this one. All right, that's the Selkirk Latitude. Let's move on to the next Selkirk paddle we have to talk about tonight. It's the Selkirk Club paddle. Now this, it looks relatively harmless, right? It's just a simple white paddle, got the word club on. I mean, it can't get any more simple. But when you find out what this thing costs, I mean, it's 35 bucks. And this thing is really meant to replace the wood paddles that you see out there when you go to your local church or your Y. You know, they have free paddles for people to play with. And get rid of those wood paddles. Get some of these Selkirk clubs in there. And people will have a much better time right off the bat playing pickleball. And let me talk about the specs. First of all, it's very light. It's 7.2 ounces, which is perfect for people just picking up a paddle for the first time. You don't want those heavy wooden paddles that are hard to move around. This thing will do everything that a wood paddle does, but it won't fatigue your arm. It'll be easier, quicker to swing. You got the polymer honeycomb core, just like the more expensive paddles. You got the composite surface, so a lot of good pop in this one. 4 1/4 grip, 15.5 length, which is average. It's just your average all-around size paddle, same as 90% of the paddles out there. 7 5/8 inches wide. What's unique is it has a nice rubber grip. I'll give you a good look at that grip. It's actually rubber, so it will last and last and last. And that's what you want, you know, with paddles that you're leaving around somewhere. You don't want to have to keep changing out the grip tape on these paddles. So this thing is built for durability. It actually is guaranteed for 1 year by Selkirk. So if the you know, if that rubber grip wears out, send it back to them. They're great about stuff like that. They'll send you another one. And you know, let's talk about the look. It's just a basic, clean looking paddle. This, I can't imagine this is going to offend anybody. It's you know, it's a paddle, but it's better than those wood paddles. Believe me. I tried some of the wood paddles at our local Y last week just to compare, and it was no comparison. This thing is so much more enjoyable to play with. It has good control for such an inexpensive paddle. Great for the beginner, so much better than the wood paddles. Another nice thing is if you buy these for your local club, or let's say you want to buy 4 paddles for your family, you want to buy a bunch for your church or whatever, I believe that they give you a volume discount on these. If you buy, maybe it's a dozen, maybe it's 20, the price comes down to, I think, $30 each. So it's already cheap. 35 bucks is cheap for a paddle. And believe me, you could play with this thing. You'd be surprised. And, you know, it's made in the USA by Selkirk. It's got all their outstanding quality in this. It's just a simple, no-frills paddle. This is meant to replace those wood paddles, those beginner paddles. Much, much better. I really think they did a great job with this at the price, and recommend trying this out if you got some beginners out there. You just want to get some extra paddles for the family. You want to buy a bunch for your local club or your church or school. You know, look into this. So that's about it for tonight. I'm glad you guys were able to tune in. Let's see if we have any questions. Let's see, what does Mark say? Mark says composite. That's right. It's composite, Mark. You don't make a deposit at the bank, you make a deposit. That's the way you can remember it. That's my little tip for you. But glad to have Mark Renison on board. Great, he does some great videos for Third Shot Sports. Always right on the money with his commentary. So I guess that's about it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'm trying to make these reviews a little quicker, a little snappier. I don't want people falling asleep. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get to them after. And we have some more Selkirk products coming up. The brand new paddle line that's coming out. We'll be reviewing that very soon. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you soon. Take care.